This is Robin Shockley with the Focus Forward with Robin Show, and we are here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network today. We are going live, and what we do here at the Studio T at 4040 Chapel Hill Road in Douglasville, Georgia, we always talk about a Pit to Purpose story, and I've got some amazing guests that are going to be on my show today. So we got Dr. Eric Holmes from Baltimore, Maryland, and we've got Elder Lois Thompson from Greenville, South Carolina. This show is always about impacting others to tell their story and how far they've come. Whether you're a business person or whether you're an entrepreneur, we want to help people like you, the viewers, get out of their stuckness to move into their pit, from their pit to their purpose. So, also, there's some things that I do besides do TV shows on the internet. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a servant leader coach. I do red carpet hostings, multiple things. So I'd love to connect with you if you're interested in having me come and help with your events. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you can find me. I'm on social media. I'm known as the social media queen, Robin Shockley. I'm also with Focus Forward with Robin, Facebook page, and Instagram under Robin Shockley, as well as YouTube, Robin Shockley. So you can find me these locations, and I would love to be able to have you watch some of my shows, give me your feedback, give me your input, and let me know what you think. So during this show today, if there's anything that you see or you hear that's being impactful, please go into the comments and comment to let the guests know how you feel about what they're saying, and that way they can go back later and they can comment back to you in response. We're going to talk about our sponsors today. Our sponsors today is Heart of the Carolinas Home Care. It's located in Malden, South Carolina. The passion for service is to help seniors continue to live in the comfort of their own home. Maybe you have a mother or maybe you have a grandparent that you're helping take care of, and you just need a break from time to time. All you have to do is contact Heart of the Carolinas, and they would be more than happy to come and service you and be able to give you that break to take care of your loved one. They take them grocery shopping, to the doctor. They help them with medicines. They even give them baths. They just give them the comfort and the tender TLC of what is needed in the home. Also, another sponsor, we have two, which is Infinite Designs by Drina Torres. She's a celebrity hairstylist out of Los Angeles, California. She has her own magazine, and I'm a contributing author in her magazine, as well as Miss Tangi Roseborough. She has a magazine called Pain to Purpose, and I'm a contributing author also with Focus Forward Robin in her magazine. So, guys, if you would like to get a copy of these magazines, there's so many people that are in this magazine, and they have such an impactful story. You do not want to miss out on an opportunity for the connections. I'm always speaking about it's very important to make sure you know who you're connected to. So you never know, just by purchasing a magazine, there may be somebody in one of these magazines that could be impactful in your life. Also, we have some great outreach things going on in the community today that I'm actually a part of. We have a big thing coming up with the Hope for the Hopeless, which is the homeless people in Pickens County. And we have two people, Pastors Tracy Gant and Sunshine Gant, that are actually starting a fundraiser to get a homeless shelter set up in Pickens, South Carolina. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. And then we also have Miss Nicole Henderson, who is actually having her own personal event, and we'll be talking about that as well. So we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, I'm going to have my very first guest, Dr. Eric Holmes from Baltimore, Maryland, and he's going to talk about his impactful book that he has written, The Power of the Seed. Welcome back, everyone. This is Robin Shockley with the Focus Forward Robin Show here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network in Douglasville, Georgia. It's Studio T, 4040 Chapel Hill Road. And I have my very first guest that's with me today is Dr. Eric Holmes from Baltimore, Maryland.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm so glad you're on the show today. How was your flight coming in?
It was great. Everything was great.
Wonderful. I'm just going to start off by reading your bio, and then we're just going to dig in with some questions, okay?
All right.
All right. Dr. Eric Holmes is a senior coordinator in the ENT department at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. He's favored to excel and push his abilities to lead him to earn an impressive number of awards at Johns Hopkins: the Award Hale Award, the Martin Luther King Award, the Radiology Customer Service Award for 2 years, and the Employee of the Year Award. With a passion and dedication to further his education and help others through his teachings, Dr. Holmes has earned a bachelor's and master's degree in biblical studies and theology, and master's and doctorate in Christian education at North Carolina College of Theology. Also has been featured in the Enoch Pratt Library Compass and the Writers' Lives, and in addition, his book is now available in the Enoch Pratt Libraries, the Baltimore County Libraries, and the Dauphin County Libraries in Pennsylvania. Wow. Your bio is very extensive. It's very educational and informative, and man, you have accomplished a lot.
Thank you.
But you haven't always been in this position, right?
Right.
Right.
It took work.
Yes, it took work. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to backtrack some. But let's first talk about this book, because you wrote a book called The Power of the Seed. Why did you write this book, Dr. Eric?
Actually, it was written when one Saturday morning I came downstairs to pray at 5 a.m. and I asked God for a project to be a blessing to ministry, to my pastor and first lady, to the kingdom. And so after praying, I walked in the kitchen, opened the door to the deck, and there's a tree in my yard. And at that time, I had been in my house 10 years, and it had changed colors. And he said, from a seed to a tree, your season just changed. So I heard it twice.
Wow.
Your season has just changed. And then so I heard, he said, put it in a book, The Power of the Seed. So in the middle of the kitchen, about like 5:30 in the morning, I'm sitting here drawing the root of the tree, drawing the tree. And I sent it to a friend of mine who's a graphic designer. I was like, this is what I want. And I know he's like, what in the world is somebody sending me something at 5:30 in the morning? But the thing is, when he gives you vision, when he gives you purpose, and when he gives you something, a lot of times we miss the door of opportunity, we miss the season because we procrastinate. So here it is. He gave me the power of the seed.
That is powerful. I'm going to read an insert from your book, because we're going to break it down with some other questions, but we're going to get to the root of the cause of you not just writing the book, but about your life story. Okay? All right. Everyone has a gift, whatever their function, whatever their purpose. I may be a teacher, but you may be a singer. There are people who teach professionally, school teachers, but they don't teach spiritual matters. You may know someone who is a writer, or another person who may love to talk it out, but have someone else write it. In our lives, we are called to minister because it is just that, our lives. We can always help somebody, or somebody can always help us. I always wanted to teach in front of people, but I didn't have the confidence to do so. However, I taught a lesson in our Bible college where all of these classes, the associates, the bachelors, the masters, the doctorates, came together to hear me speak. It was so phenomenal because so many people, even the older ones, said, you broke it down to our understanding. I was in awe. I told somebody that I knew I wanted to teach, but it needed to be pulled out of me. Not everyone can be a teacher, but you can tell people your life story through your gift and your testimony. I love that because that is a stem from the power of the seed. So can you break it down for us to tell us how you came to realize the potential that was in you from the beginning?
A lot of times is there's purpose. Everyone has purpose. And whatever God gifts you with the purpose, you just have to find what your purpose is. I remember doing our aspirants ministry for training, for ministry, and my pastor's wife would always say, just do it all. God will show you. And a lot of times you just do. And it's already in you. Like, I know I'm a teacher. I know I'm a motivational speaker. I know I'm an encourager because it's already in you. I've been doing it since I was in elementary school. And my awesome friend and sister of 45 years, Marvette, who I call the NACA Queen, that always was in me.
Okay.
And a lot of my classmates and all of them, and I still do it to this day. We've been out of school over 32 years, and I'm still inspiring and encouraging other people. And your gift, you'll know what it is. You'll cultivate it. It just comes with time, and the more you do it, the more you
Yes.
cultivate your gift. It just becomes natural.
Wow.
But then you got to continue to work your craft
Wow.
and your purpose, and then the more you do it, the more you know what it is that you do.
That's right. It just comes naturally.
It just becomes
Once you
natural.
step out, one of the things that you said in here is that you needed that push to have that confidence.
Yes.
So with that being said, was there any particular person that you give accolades, so to speak, who has been an inspiration in your life and in your spiritual growth?
Yes, my mom, who transitioned 4 years ago, would always instill so many different things in all 8 of her kids.
Okay.
Then my former pastor, the late Apostle Evans, who just poured so much into me, and I put his name in the book. Then, of course, my current pastor, Bishop Pender, and my First Lady, Dr. Pender, who also was my professor going through school, through the Bible College, and always an inspiration. We just traveled back from our alumni graduation black tie, so she's always pouring and encouraging, and so many different other people like Dr. Lawrence, Betty Lawrence, who pulled what was in me out of me.
Okay.
And so many different people, my big sister, Paula, and of course I always tell, we was talking this morning, me and my friend Marvette, I just watch her, and she's always giving me business tips and wisdom and how to do what I do. So he places a lot of people in your lives, and we talked about the connection. You got to know
Yes.
how God will put people in your life to connect you to greatness. Even with one of the ladies, I sent a message, Miss Cheryl Williamson, who, with me writing, because she has 12 books,
Okay.
I'm a part of the next book that
Wow.
we're doing, and
Yeah.
that's a blessing for them to pour into
Yes.
you and allow you the wisdom, the knowledge, and then you can go out and share it with other people.
That's it. The thing is, this is a quote God gave me many years ago, is impacting one generation to another by positive seeds that we sow today. And that's what these people that you mentioned, all these names, they have been impacting you over time, years
Yes.
time, of just being positive impact in your life today, and so you've taken that seed that's been planted in you and you let it grow, and then you pass it on. It's kind of like you start out as a small little seed, grows into a tree, and then eventually it becomes an orchard.
Yes.
That is powerful. Powerful. I love that. So, Dr. Holmes, tell us also about some of these awards. Now, how did you come to get all these awards at Johns Hopkins?
It is, and it's a blessing because, one, the president really always inspires and supports me as well, Dr. Miller. And I've known her over 21 years. And even with my writing the book and one of the first ones to purchase it, it's a blessing when you have people that are connected but believe in your vision.
That's right.
And so with all those awards, it's through patient letters, it's through nominations,
Wow.
and then they have a committee and they go over it, all the different nominations, and then they make a selection. And I'm just grateful that I have been chosen and blessed and favored to have won like every single award in this institution. And just for the Edward Halley Award, it's a blessing. And then you've planted seeds.
Yes.
You planted in the lives of coworkers, in the lives of people, in the lives of the patients, which patient care and patient safety. And so they write letters. And for a whole entire year, like the Edward Halley Award, which is the highest award out of 24,000 employees, they choose
Wow.
one each year
That's
with a
powerful.
plaque, with a gift.
Yeah.
But that is the highest award because Mr. Edward Halley, who just embodied patient care and patient safety, just to receive this award is an honor. Even just to be
Yes.
nominated,
Yes.
but to be chosen is a
Wow.
blessing. So it goes through a whole, your patients writing letters and, even workers and patients.
Now, what is an ENT? What
ENT is a
does?
department of otolaryngology,
Okay.
head and neck.
Okay.
I know everybody, we just say ENT,
Yeah.
ear, nose, and throat.
Yeah.
But in that department, we do audio, we do the listening center, we do so many different, we do speech,
Okay.
we do voice. So it's like has about 8 departments in one.
Okay.
Head and neck. We do cochlear implants.
Okay.
So we have scheduled people for hearing.
Okay.
So we have like about 8 departments in one under
Okay.
the otolaryngology department,
Okay.
which most people, we just say ENT, head,
Okay.
ear, nose, and throat, because a lot of people are trying to pronounce
That's
it.
right.
So yeah.
Well,
so,
let me, and this is what I want to know, because everybody knows that my show is all about coming from your pit to your purpose. So you've written a book, you have all these accolades about these awards that you've won, you have all these people that have spoken into your life and everything. But one thing that I read in here that I want to bring up is confidence. You lacked confidence, so it had to stem from somewhere. Can we break it down to find out why you felt like you didn't have confidence in your life?
I guess a lot of times, even for me, we try to measure up, or we look at other people,
Yes.
or we'll say Robin's on the show doing this, but you don't know what it took to get to this
Amen.
point. I've been speaking since little, and my friend Marvetta took through school, through just even at different events, ministry, preaching, all of that. But a lot of times we measure ourselves
Yes.
if we don't feel that we're doing it like someone else.
Exactly.
And then that's where you get into the point we're all gifted. We all have purpose. We all have a passion of what God gives us. We created uniquely, each one of us
Yes.
differently.
Yes.
Created in his image. So you just have to find what your purpose is, what your passion. And when you begin to see that, then you just say, hey, this is who I am. I'm unique. I'm created in the uniqueness and likeness of
Yes.
God. And the thing about it is, I can't be like Lucy. I can't be like Bob. I can't be like Joe. Like, I
Love
can't
it.
be like Marvette and do real estate, because
That's
that's not my
right.
passion. I can't, be like XYZ. I got to be who God ordained me to be.
Yes.
And once you get that, then you can move forward in your purpose. You can move beyond and the lack of wherever area it is, and even in common. Because now I'm like speaking everywhere. It was literally my former pastor, the late Apostle Evans, put me over director of public relations. And I kid you, that was about 20 years ago. Now I have been on so many radios,
I love
TVs,
it. I
different
love
things.
it.
But when he did, I was like, whoa. Like, I had just been at the church not even long.
Yeah.
But he saw it, the gift. He saw what was in me
And-
before I
and
did.
he-
But yet I just trusted the God in him. I trusted. And like literally, I have been on for the last, supporting one of the radio stations, WEA, for the last 25 years. I'm on their fall drive, their spring drive. I'm on the radio. And like literally, I have been on so many different radio stations, even hosting my own. But he pulled what was in me out of me.
I love that, because I give accolades to Regina Sunshine Robinson for that, because she saw things in me that I didn't even see in myself. I started out just basically helping her co-host every now and then with her radio show. And she'd say, Robin, can you come down here? I want you to help me co-host. And because she was pulling people in and out. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to take that drive. I'm going to get down there. So we started out co-hosting together. And then she decided to branch out of her comfort, out of her box, and launch her own network. And look, here we are. And she has coached me. She's mentored me. She's became such a great friend, but she's become family as well, because she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I questioned myself over the years. And the thing is that when I was going through so much in my personal life, like you
Yes.
mentioned, we never know what somebody's going through to get to where they are. People may look at us and say, oh, you're a successful business person. Oh my gosh, you're in library. Your book is in libraries. It's crazy. Robin Shockley's got a TV show. She's doing this. She's on the go to recover, but you don't know what it's taken for us to get to where we are today. You don't know how we came from a pit now into our purpose. But it's all defined by the grace of God. He's lined everything up. And yes, sometimes we go down that wrong path. We get deterred and make bad choices and bad mistakes, but he always sees the outcome is the best for us. And so we do need to recognize those people that have made impact in our lives, that have helped us and made that trailblazer way for us. So I love that you are so proud to recognize people that has been in your life, who has spoken into your life. Now, Dr. Eric, have you always been a faith believer?
Over the years, it's developed even the more my relationship.
Okay.
Because we all know we went to church.
That religion.
Right.
Yes.
But then to you develop your own personal relationship.
That's right.
And a lot of times it's over time. It's over testing. It's over you may experience things in life like I was sharing with you.
Yeah.
Like last summer was crazy because I literally had to operate in faith with no finances, literally waiting to transition from one department to another, transitioning from one department or one campus to the other. No, a lot of people did not know it that I did not work, and then you couldn't share it with everybody. But I had an awesome pastor, awesome first lady, and a couple people that I shared it. But they always had wisdom. Me, my pastor now, even when I started our ministry, he shared, do this in your sermon and pouring into me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't know, and they wouldn't because my posture, my position, my praise, all of that was the same. Just thanking God. I got up every day, but I would have never gone into the libraries. I would have never done some of the things, but he allowed me to navigate through the wilderness to get to my promise. And one of the things that he said to me was that don't compromise your promise and settle for less. It's worth the wait. I literally had to wait to get through the wilderness to get to my promise, but yet had I not gone through the testing, I would have never gone to the library. I would have never gone to the other library. I went to support somebody. I went in this library, stopped in there because I had to sign up for the different things. Next thing you know, just asked the lady a question. She was like, wow, I'm glad to help you. You just come in, you talk to everybody, but no one knew that in those 4 months. But when I look at today, I have traveled somewhere every single month.
Wow.
I have all these plane tickets, and me and my friend Marvette, I love her dearly because she pours even more out of me, blogging. No, you need to do this. You need to do X, Y, businesswoman. And you need people like that because, like I said, most people would have not known, even at work, nobody knew. They knew I was at another campus. But had no idea for 4 months.
Wow.
Literally living in faith. And it's so amazing because God in the wilderness experience, oh my God, my faith is even the more. So you can't tell me, I don't believe him or, I'm going to doubt him, even in the wilderness experience. But it has opened up a lot of major doors, even with the second book of this anthology. Had I not gone through this experience, I could not write the chapter that I wrote in the next book that is coming out this month. I couldn't have wrote it had I not experienced it. But because I'm on the other side of it, I can tell somebody else about it. I know him to be a waymaker. I know him to be a provider. I know him to open doors. I know him to the unexpected or in the wilderness experience. You can come out of the wilderness.
Amen.
It's how your mind is positioned. You got to see it from another perspective. You got to see it from another perception. But then you got to see the good in it. But then here's the other thing. What have I learned in this experience? What have I learned in the wilderness or even in that job that was not for me? What did I learn? In one, I wouldn't take another position like that because that's not my passion. One, what have I learned? But I learned a lot of things. How to credential doctors. I learned so much on the administrative portion that now I've taken it to the other position. So what have we learned? Self-examination. It's easier to blame somebody else or the choices we made. I remember my pastor saying choices and decisions of a bad decision. See, what you say today can affect you tomorrow. Decision and choices you make can affect you tomorrow. And a lot of times we don't think about it, and we all made some. Poor management or whatever it is. I know I would be wealthy because of all the money that has gone through my hand, ideals and all of this. But when we don't make the right choice and we don't seek him for direction and guidance. So now, at this point in my life, every decision, every choice, even to come here, I wouldn't have just, it's an opportunity. No, every door of opportunity may not be what he wants for you.
That's right. That's right.
You better know it's God. So
That's right.
to get to this point, a lot of people see us, but they don't know the process and the preparation to get to where we are.
Yeah.
See, they just see here. We talked about something and no one would know it unless you told it.
That's
but
right.
the thing about it is that it's going to help somebody else in the long run.
Yes, exactly. And I love the fact that you're always connecting people. You are like that orchard because you are that seed that is planted into other people. Because just through you, I got connected with the gentleman out of India to be on his magazine because you're featured in it. And then what did you do? You sent a referral from me. And it's all about that because we have got to be strategic in our connections with who we're with. And the thing is, you reached out to me because you had connected with Josh.
Yes.
Was it Josh or Stacy?
It was Josh.
It was Josh. You had connected with Josh out of Charlotte. Now, how did you connect with Josh?
He's like my little brother, but we actually met through social media.
Okay.
And then when I was having an event, they came up to the event. I had him featured in the magazine. And it's all about, I used to do a show called The Power of Influence with Dr. E. And the thing is the power of connection, the power of networking, the power of influence, and how you can influence someone else, how you connect someone else to be a connecting factor as God connects the dots. And a lot of times we have information, we have wisdom, we have knowledge, but we don't share it. It's nothing for me to share somebody else to be featured because not only that, somebody else is going to be blessed by their story. Somebody else is going to be encouraged about what they have and what they've gone through to say, you know what, you might be just the one that word of encouragement might take them to give them a little bit more hope to make it.
That's
you know,
right.
I got an email from someone that needed prayer, and it was just that caused them not to give up. So it's everything we've gone through. It's for somebody else. We lived through it. We endure it. He allowed us the privilege to go through it, but that we can tell somebody else.
Yes, I love
about it to encourage it. You don't have to give up. You don't have to quit no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what the situation is. I don't care what we find ourselves in. He's yet still able to bring us out. My pastor said, son, yes, he gives us a way of escape.
That's right.
He gives us the ability not to fail.
Amen.
You don't have to fail. You don't have to quit. And that's why connection is so important. If you connected to me, I'm not going to let you fail. I'm not going to let you go down this road that I know is detrimental. I'm not going to let you fail if I know that's not right for you. And a lot of times we need friends. We need people in our lives that will tell us the truth, whether we want to hear it or not. I know my friend Marvette will tell me the truth, whether I want to hear it or not. You know, but you need people like that. I know my pastor is going to tell me. I know my friend, you know, whether we want to hear it or not. And if you don't have people like that in your life, you better check the connection. You I'm telling you,
because everybody's not going to agree with you.
No, they're not.
And you don't want everybody to agree with you.
You do not, because going through that whole wilderness experience, I had a friend, Apostle Parker, she would always say, well, XYZ, even if I didn't want to hear it. But then when God was beginning to speak to me, it was in this whole process of the wilderness. I would never know about the other promise that was waiting for me. Even the job I'm in now, you know, it was waiting for me. Why even my supervisor was even out on medical, saw my name, and that was it. Didn't go no further with anybody else. But I had to go through this process to be able to talk about it, to be able to help somebody. But not only that, that I know he sustained me in a whole wilderness experience to bring me out on the other side.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, have you ever been in a position, because I'm sure we all have, that you have been connected to a person maybe that you shouldn't have been connected to, and you made bad choices with that, as far as like maybe they were speaking into your life and it didn't line up with the way that God was leading you or such? And how did you make that defining choice to know the discernment of knowing it was God relationship, or just, you know, a man relationship, or just, you know, somebody that's passing through?
You'll know it because people's actions will always speak. And all you got to do, and I tell this to people all the time, just give them time. Because what's in the
True
individual
colors will come out.
And when people begin, and I had this, who someone was like a god brother to me, when they begin to see me prosper, though I was working hard, working 2 jobs, you know, I was like really putting in work.
Yeah.
Bought a car, all of this. And next thing you know, it shifted. But then you can tell people's action. You can tell people's spirit. And then if you are like me, I have a prayer life. You know what I mean? I'm a worshiper. I'm a praiser. You know, and the discernment, you can see people's attitude, their motives. And if they can't celebrate you, that's the thing right there. If they can't celebrate you on what's going on or where you're going. And the crazy thing was, I was pushing their business, pushing their work, and everything, connected them to people. But God will show you. All I said it, all I need is a sign, because he will show you. And now here's the other thing, and I remember preaching this, don't ignore the warning sign, just proceed with caution. We ignore the sign. And we keep on going, but yet he's already given us the warning. I lost over like $3,000 not following the sign that he gave me, trying to do this investment, and clearly I ignored it, and then it cost me financially. And it's hard to recover when you done lost money and you get behind. But that's the other thing. See, we can talk about it. And see people see all of this. Or
you're being transparent because people need to know that we're real and we have issues. We make bad choices and it's okay.
And I was hot because I trusted the person. You know what I mean? And I knew they wouldn't. But I was like, but they was looking at things from a quick fix. You know what I mean? Invest in this. But I tell you one thing, they don't have to worry about me no more, because if God don't send it, if it ain't, listen, I'm not doing it. I'm not making no bad investments. I work too hard. I'm trying to get to where I'm going to my destiny. And the thing about it is, I'm not. So even when people bring ideas, or even when people bring shows or send you stuff, I don't just jump at stuff. Because people have a whole, me and Marvin, I'm telling you, I love this. I'm telling you, she pours so much into me, but I like listen. I just listen to her, even on the way here, how she networks, and that's why we call her the Knacker Queen. But I have a good friend that's going to give me the right wisdom and advice. And the thing about it is, everybody is not going to celebrate you. And I tell them, I have a new clothing line. It's not personal. It's just purpose. That's fine. Here's the gift called bye-bye. It's no problem. It's okay.
And you got to learn to not take offense, because everybody is not going to celebrate you. Everybody's not going to line up exactly. We just had this conversation yesterday, a guy that I had interviewed, and we talked about that, because there are people out here in this world that, you know, they have a different type of motive. But as long as you stay on that path and you keep your focus straight ahead and you move forward and you stay guided by the Holy Spirit, by God himself, you're not going to be swayed, and you know you're not going to take offense by what somebody says. You just know when to protect your peace and when it's time to walk away.
And everybody can't be in your inner circle like what Jesus. Everybody can't be in the inner circle. And then you can't trust everyone with your vision, your dreams, your ideals. We look at Joseph. You can't just share it until the manifestation happens. I remember tearing up a contract for a book deal. I took one. My pastor is a businessman of the first magnitude. I know he has my best interest. I took it to him. And I literally tore it up. So when I told the gym, oh, I can't do this, I can't, and he was upset. Sir, it's nothing personal. But if my bishop says,
it's just purpose.
Listen, if this is son XYZ, you could already know. Wasn't personal. I just tore it up. I'm going to go with what he said. One, he has my best interest. Then he's the watchman of my soul. So I'm going to go with what he has for me. He's not going to lead me wrong. Even through the hard times, even through the wilderness, even through transitions, I know he's going to speak a word. I know he's going to tell me what he's going to be straight. One, he's straightforward and to the point. So there's no sugarcoating. You know what I'm saying? And so that is what I always tell them. I'm coming in with the check. I'm just going to write it. The largest check to them. And that's my whole purpose of this whole thing. When I ask God for a project, be a blessing to my pastor, my first lady, to ministry, to the kingdom. Build a homeless shelter. So when you have purpose, when you got vision and dreams and goals, it ain't even, I wasn't even in the equation. It's to help somebody. But in the words of the late apostle, what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. If you can't help somebody else along this way, as the song says, then my living will not be in vain. It ain't for me.
I think we're having church up in here. Okay. We're having church up in here today. I love it. So on the power of the seed. Why would somebody invest to purchase this book that you've written? Because what is basically this book in a nutshell? What is this book even about that you've written, The Power of the Seed?
The power of the seed will bless you. One, it was birthed out of a vision God gave me. So it's spiritual and it's biblically.
Okay.
But even from the natural to the spiritual aspect, it will show you how powerful the seed is. It will allow you the process, the preparation of seeding, sowing, and planting and harvesting. And in the in between, what do I do in the middle process?
Okay.
I gotta water, I gotta nurture, I gotta harvest. So when it gets to the set time and season, I don't have to get weary in the middle of the process. I got a harvest coming.
So, Dr. Eric, why would people actually sow financially or sow time? What? Because there are people, it comes natural to us because we are a spiritual connection.
Yes.
Where we know we have a relationship with God and we know all about the power of the seed within and how we believe in sowing where we want to go, where we want to grow. But to the viewer that could be watching, that they don't have no clue what it is to sow a seed. Break that down for us. Why would people even make an investment, to sow? I know you hear about people going to church and they tithe and everything, but tell us, why would people sow into other people's lives, whether it's financially or with spending time and such?
Because when you sow and you sow properly, as the book allows you to understand and know, it's going to produce a harvest. Whether I'm sowing time, talent, my tithes, whether I'm sowing just a good word of encouragement, because the scripture is still clear, that which a man soweth, that he's going to also, that shall he also reap. So whether it's good or whether it's bad, it's going to produce and it's going to harvest. It's going to produce whatever you see, whatever you sow. Whether, if it's a compliment, Robin, you look nice today. It's somebody may stop you down. Oh, you really look nice. It comes back.
Yeah.
And it's not just in finances, as I tell people, or even as I teach about the power of the seed. It comes back in many ways. Favor, doors open. I sold to some of the college students.
Yes.
One just graduated, and it just blew my mind that when I wrote that book, literally they just graduated from college. And I'm like, wow, what an investment. But he said, if you invest now, you'll see the dividends later. So we're investing time, talent, a word of encouragement, a word of hope. You can make it, just even all of that. It's going to produce something. It's going to come back. It's going to come back just like the seed, how small that mustard seed is.
Yes.
We talked about when you plant it, when you water a seed, like a tree, an orchard. It all starts apple, oranges. Everything starts with a seed. Jesus being the ultimate seed for us.
Amen.
Everything starts with a seed.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, this has been so great. We got more to come because you can stay to the end, correct?
Yes.
All right, because we're gonna do some regrouping talk with my second guest that's gonna come on, and you are on fire. Do you preach?
I do.
I can tell. You're a preacher too. Wow. Well, tell us, Dr. Eric, tell us some information. Tell our viewers how they can get in touch with you if they would like to connect with you to either purchase the book or either if they want to have you come on, be on their show, or maybe come speak in an event.
You can find me on Facebook, Eric Holmes, Twitter, Dr. E, on Instagram, Elin K 1115. Also, you can find the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or if you just happen to be in the Baltimore area, it's in the Baltimore City Libraries, 22 locations, the Enoch Pratt Library, Baltimore County, Dauphin County, if you happen to be in the Pennsylvania area. And now just got an email 3 weeks ago. It is actually in the Westminster, Carroll County Libraries, which blessed me.
Awesome.
And so even with that, even if you can't afford to buy it, I tell people go to the library, just sign it out. It's planting a seed.
That's right.
And so I'm on all the
love it.
social media sites, or even in my book, or even on Amazon. It's an excerpt on there. Email me, call me, email me, and I'll be glad to come share. But not only that, just speak a word of encouragement to give you hope that you can press forward, that you can move forward, even if you feel that you've been stuck. You still can move forward. Just don't get stuck in the middle of the process. Your seed does have power.
That's right. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me tell you, I am so excited that you came today. And I appreciate you so much for flying all the way from Baltimore, Maryland to be here on the show today, because I really believe that your message is going to be so impactful to people. Everything is strategic and timing.
Yes.
And I believe nothing happens by accident. So if you're watching this live show or if you're watching the replay, please make sure you get connected with Dr. Eric Holmes. He would love to connect with you on social media. He goes and does lives all the time. He prays specifically. I will say this. My father, Gary Lee, was in Houston, Texas, in the hospital in ICU. I did not know if he was going to make it. This man got his church to pray for my dad all the way across the country. My dad was in another part of the country. I was in one part of the country, and Dr. Eric Holm was in another with his church family, and they were praying and interceding. This man is the real deal. So if you need a divine connection, you definitely want to make sure that you get connected with him. Tell us, as we close out, is there something that you could say that can be so impactful to somebody to help them move from their pit to purpose, to move into their calling, to focus forward? Because maybe they don't have all the degrees. Maybe they don't have, all these awards and everything. Maybe they're just a common average person and they only have a high school education. How can they believe in themselves to have that confidence that you lacked at one time and now you have?
One, you definitely need a personal relationship with God, and for those who don't, that's our key factor. Prayer is the other. But not only that, get a mentor, get someone who believes in you and can pull the things out of you. And we all have purpose. We were all created. But whatever you do, don't quit. Whatever you do, I heard something this morning, don't quit too soon.
Wow.
Don't wait on it. Matter of fact, it was on a podcast that Marvette was showing me, and I was so intrigued. She said, don't quit too soon, because there's more to come. But if you quit too soon, now you've given up. You might be in the middle of the process. Keep on moving. One of the excerpts in the book, The Turtle and the Hare, that I put in there, it wasn't how fast he was going. He just kept on going. He kept going until he crossed the finish line.
Yes.
It's not how we start, but how we finish. It's not how fast we run, but that we endure. The key to it all, I tell everybody, endure. It's just like a race. Marathon, sprint, whatever you may be in, just continue the race. It's not given to the swift nor the battle to the strong. He who endures to the end. All you have to do is endure. And then I'll end with this. My pastor said, and I love it when you've got to learn to outlast your circumstance. You've got to learn to outlast the problem. And God will give us the ability not to fail. You've got to learn to endure whatever situation you might find yourself in. You've got to endure it. Keep on moving. It doesn't matter. If I would have got stuck in last summer, I would never be here. I would never be moving in so many open doors. With the second book coming out with Soulful Prayers as this anthology, I would never move if I would have got stuck in this wilderness experience because of a situation. And you gotta forgive. I don't care what people do. You better forgive and let it go and move on, because it opens so many doors. When God wakes you up to pray for the same person that have done you wrong. But listen, it pays to obey him, because listen, it moved me forward of where I was going. And they still had to turn around and watch me in all of these, even being one of the key speakers for the educational health ENT sponsorship day. I was one of the key speakers on here with surgeons and, all these doctors. And then they changed the whole message, said, we need you to talk about faith, love, God, and talk about the power of the seed. Let me tell you, God will get his word out. What if I wouldn't have forgave them for what they did?
That's right.
It would never have opened up these doors for me. But then at the end of it all, I got to hear him say, well done. So I've got to forgive.
I love it. All right, guys, this has been we could go all day long, and we got to get our next guest on. But let me tell you, this has been such a humble experience just to have you come all the way from Maryland. I am so honored that you're on this show, and it means so much that you came all this way. Guys, we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some more stories about Pit to Purpose and how Miss Elder Lois Thompson from Greenville, South Carolina, how she's come from her story and made it passionate and living a life on purpose. We'll be right back. everyone. This is Robin Shockley with the Focus Forward Robin Show here on the Regina Sunshine Global Network at Studio T at 4040 Chapel Hill Road in Douglasville, Georgia. That was very impactful. But we have another amazing guest on our show today, and I'm so excited. We have Elder Lois Thompson.
Yes.
Welcome. I'm so glad
Thank
you're
you.
here.
I'm so glad to be
and you
here.
know what's so special about this woman? I'm going to tell you in a minute, but let me read her bio, okay? This is about Elder Lois Thompson. Lois Thompson married 43 years. She has 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. She is employed by Clarkson, Walsh, and Coulter of Greenville. She was a precious owner of Elite Mortgage and Tropical Tanning in years past, so she was an entrepreneur. She is a member of Relentless Church out of Greenville, South Carolina, who the pastor is Pastor John Gray. She also is an elder in this church, and she oversees 120 greeters for the church. She has participated in Global International BSF Bible Study Fellowship for 7 years. She also was in training as a leading ladies leader for 3 years under the leadership of Stephanie Wolf of Atlanta, Georgia. She believes in supporting the local church by being involved in the community, assisting in feeding the hungry, street ministry, and telling others that Christ loves them. Her passion is seeing God's people healed of past hurts and knowing that Christ wants them free. She recognizes that if you don't get healed from your past hurts, you are building a weak foundation that will eventually fall.
Amen.
Welcome so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Listen, this lady right here, I know her personally because she's not just an elder of a church. She's not just a former entrepreneur. She's not just a grandmother and a mother, but she is actually my mother.
Amen.
This is
Yes.
amazing. I actually have, we're talking about the power of the seed. We're talking about impacting others with positive impact of positive seeds. And this lady right here, I am evidence of her seed. People want to know, why is Robin Shockley so bubbly and so cheerful all the time and stuff? Well, I get that part from my mother's side because
Yes.
my mother is very bubbly, very
Yes.
energetic, and very happy. She is so free. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about who you are today as a woman.
Wow. Well, today as a woman, I realize my heart, my passion, and the most important thing is God's my life,
Yes.
and I can't do anything outside of Him. And I've had to learn that there's been a period, and God had shown me that I was like a David.
Okay.
There's a time that we're away from the world. We're away from the people. We're away from ministering, just as David was out there tending the sheep. There was a time for me that God had pulled me away that way. Even though people see me at church, there was this time that it was just me and God. No one but me and God and my immediate family. And God started doing a work within me, doing a healing within me that I brought from my past life,
Yeah.
previous life, and
We'll talk
started
about
doing
that.
yes, started doing a healing with me. So now God has set me free in so many ways, and I'm still being set free at 65. We never get free from a lot of things, but we got to be willing to say, okay, I'm going to take ownership of this and deal with it.
Yeah.
And as I started dealing with it and taking ownership, I started being set free. The Lord started opening the doors to show me ways to set myself through Him free.
Okay.
And I think where I am right now, I want everybody free.
Yes.
I want
yes.
no hang-ups in a family. I don't want anything that was brought up from 14, 15, 25-year-old up to being 50 and 60 as I did. But that's where I am
Okay,
today.
so right now you're at a place in your life where you're free, so you want other people to feel
To be-
that freedom.
yes, yes.
So with that, with you walking in your freedom, you know, the things that you do in the community, the things that you do in your church community.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what is an elder, what's your position as an elder? What does an elder do in church?
Okay. An elder, first of all, I believe with all my heart, Pastor John and Pastor Aventura are awesome in our church. And my husband and I both feel we are called to be intercessors for them first and foremost, and we do that. And then we are called to the people.
Yes.
As an elder, we oversee like I
Okay.
said, greeters, but we oversee the people in the church. If they need an elder, someone to pray with them, talk with them, or even visit in the hospital, that's
Okay.
what we do.
Okay.
So
All right.
we
Because
go out
it's a
into
big
the
church.
community.
It's
Oh,
a
yes.
huge church.
It's-
So the pastor can't go to the hospital and visit
Absolutely.
every single person, though he tries, because
Right.
that's his heart.
Yes.
He's my pastor too. So I get that. But so he assigns elders, underseers that become pastors
Yes.
who actually go in his place to help.
Help. Yes,
I love that. I
absolutely.
love
Yes.
that. Wonderful. Well, also, you're not only an elder at Relentless Church in Greenville, South Carolina, you oversee the greeters members,
Yes.
right? So people that, tell us a little bit what greeters do and what is that position, because that's something we're going to break down
Yeah.
and talk about
Oh,
sewing.
my goodness. Greeters set the atmosphere.
Okay.
Because if someone walks through the door and they're not happy and they don't have a good attitude, greeters can help make them feel comfortable,
Okay.
to break down the walls that they feel like, oh, I'm here, I've been invited by my mom, or my mom's making me go. We can break down that wall, but we set the atmosphere of what God has for them. And we're the in-between for us, the pastor, before he preaches. So greeters play a big role at a church that a lot of
Yes.
people think it's just you're standing there greeting. It's not. It's more than that. And
You
we
create that atmosphere.
Yes, we
I
do.
love
Yes.
that. I love
Yes.
that. And if you have a pleasant personality and you have a smile,
Yes.
you definitely want to get connected to being a greeter. Now,
Absolutely.
Lois, you have not always had a smile on your face.
Oh, no.
No,
Oh, absolutely
and
not.
for her to be able to say that she is over 120 greeters at a large mega church, her story is so impactful. And I want to break it down because I want to go back, because there are some things that you share with me personally as being my mother that, the world, because we have viewers all over around the world,
Yes.
that there's people out there that are dealing and struggling with some things that maybe you've struggled with in the past. So let's go back. Have you always been this bubbly personality, or have you had some triumphs and troubles in your life?
Oh, yeah.
Not triumphs, but some troubles in your life.
Oh, yes, I've had them, that's for sure. But the Lord, before I found the Lord, my life, and of course, I don't want to cry.
That's okay.
But
That's okay.
where I came from
Girl.
was from the bottom. I was in an abusive first marriage, low self-esteem, until God come in my life. I wouldn't even walk into a department store because I felt people thought, why is she even in here? She's not good enough to be here. Literally, I promise. And I was just telling my other daughter that on the way here. I said, I didn't have anyone that did encourage me. We were raised very poor, didn't have a lot. And so, in the Bible, and I'll go back to this, when a child is born, there's 4 or 5 places in the Bible that was intended for a parent to bless that child when it's born. And when the child is born, it takes 8 days. The father and mother are to pray to name that child, because that tells them what their gift is. That tells what their purpose is in life. So they never have to struggle with a purpose. I didn't get to have a lot of that. And most people, 99%, that grew up in my age didn't have someone that blessed us.
Yeah.
So we never heard the word, I love you, you can succeed, you can do anything you set your mind to do. And I had to learn.
So
I didn't
even as
have
a
it,
small
and so
child,
I was willing to take the worst.
Okay, so even as a small child, because you said that you were in a bad relationship,
Yes.
a bad marriage, first marriage. But before you got married, did you have insecurities growing up? Was
Oh,
there
yes,
anything?
yes.
So why did you feel? What was the insecurities that you had as a small child? Because everybody has a story, and you have a successful story today, but something
Yes.
stemmed, and you're always speaking to us about the root. You got to get to the root
root,
cause.
yes.
So tell us, what was your root cause of why you faced these insecurities in your younger years?
Rejection. I
Okay.
never felt love, never was told I love you, never remember someone putting their arm around me as a child. And I guess it started there, And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm free from it, but it's still tender to some degree because there's so many children right now that have to
compassion.
walk there. And it breaks my heart. My heart goes out to children that don't have someone that can give them love or show them affection. So mine is, that starts the root right there. And when you grow in that, you're willing to take from anyone that says, I love you.
Wow.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Wow.
Doesn't matter how many men. Doesn't matter. You're willing to accept it
Yes.
because somebody's showing you love,
Wow.
and you're willing to deal with that.
That's right.
And
That's
then
right.
before you know it, you're walking down a road that's not the road that God had intended from the beginning for
Yeah.
you.
Wow. Well, so with your pit situation of your insecurities, of feeling the rejection and unloved because you were
Uh-huh.
just willing to get out in the world to what I don't know what you did, but I do know some of the things you did, but you were just willing to be accepted by anybody and everybody. When did you come to the conclusion that, hey, I matter? I really matter. When was that?
Oh, wow. When I gave my heart to the Lord 43 years ago, not we had been saved or married, my husband and I, for probably 6 months.
And who's your husband?
Johnny Thompson.
Johnny Thompson,
And he's
my
an
dad.
elder at Relentless also.
Yes, cowboy hat man.
Yes.
Yes, everybody knows him as Cowboy Man.
But when I married him, I still had low self-esteem. I brought baggage into my relationship.
And we do that.
Yes, we do.
that.
Yes, we do. And it did affect our marriage, too. It took many years for God to do a healing with me
Yeah.
where that's concerned. But when I got saved, I felt I am so special. I literally felt, oh my gosh, I'm so special. God really, truly loves me, and nobody else. It didn't matter because I was so literally in love with Christ. He was my everything for a long time.
Wow.
And then the enemy started creeping back in over the years.
Yeah.
And it was probably in the last 10, 15 years that God was drawing me back to a place. Even though I served him, I never turned my back. I served him. He was my everything.
Yeah.
But there was still something that was still missing.
Wow.
And it was, we can be a Christian and know that if we die today, we're going to heaven. It doesn't mean I've got a strong relationship with the Lord. It's up to me to make that happen.
That's right.
And when I finally come to the place, it's me and God. It's just me and God. It's me and God intimate together.
Yeah.
Me and God by ourselves. And that started drawing me back. And what God was saying, I placed in you, is going to come forth now. What
Yeah.
I placed. But I had to come to the place to quit wanting everybody else to bless me, to show me love, make me feel accepted. I had
love-
to accept myself.
Yes, and you said God was having to draw you back to Him. And so, one of the things my mom was saying to me for years, she has said this. She would say, the scripture in the Bible where it talks about He draws us to the wilderness gently. And I would get so frustrated with her because she would
She
say
would.
that. I would get so upset. But God places moms, whether it's spiritual moms or natural moms, in your life for a reason. And God placed her in my life for a reason to share about that. And I ignored it. And a lot of times, children, we do ignore our moms because we think we know all that and stuff. So for years she would say that. But I finally get it. Can you break it down to us what that meant to you? Because it's so impactful. And now I get it. So there will be viewers that are going to be watching this today, and I want them to be able to get the same thing that God revealed to you
Yes.
years ago.
It was in Hosea, and it says he lured her to the desert gently.
Okay.
And the Lord started dealing with me. Some people say that's when she had an affair on her husband, and they took her to the desert, which the wilderness, which is the same as a desert. There's
Okay.
nothing living,
Okay.
And the Lord started saying, I'm going to lure you to the desert
Okay.
gently. He doesn't do anything harsh or cruel or mean, but it's done gently. When he lured me to the desert, he said, I'm going to kill everything that's alive in you. And
Yeah.
he didn't mean this part. He meant the things that I was trying to live off of.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm trying to keep hold of to stay above the water, he's saying, we're going to destroy it because my spirit's going to come forth.
Wow.
And the only
Wow.
way sometimes that his spirit can come forth is when we let our flesh die. We say we let it die, We say that. But until you're really willing to go to the desert and starve those spirits that you have gathered, rejection, unforgiveness, resentment, hateful, bitterness, anger, all these things are hidden sins that destroy our spirits.
Yes.
You know, God doesn't want that in us.
Exactly.
And what happens when we're rejected and we don't feel love, and the Lord has showed me that we will allow, they're not hurting me no more, by George, I'll show you.
Yeah.
So what do? You put a wall up, protect yourself. When you put that wall to protect yourself, they come around, it's an open wound, and it hurts.
That's right.
And then you
That's
start
right.
saying, they will not hurt me. And before you're knowing it, I'm resenting them. I'm angry. Now I'm holding unforgiveness and bitterness
Yes.
and resentment.
So you have to get to the root. So
Yes.
in order to, because there are good seeds and there are bad
Bad
seeds.
seeds.
Brother Eric spoke about the positive seeds, and now you've talked about the negative seeds, about how, you have rejection and all this stuff of not feeling accepted, and then it caused you to go out in
Yes.
the world to spring forth negative seeds, because it did make an impact. It went
Yes.
down to the generational line.
Yes.
And they were things that you allowed, and I didn't even realize that later I realized that I was allowing, because it was a seed that was passed down. And so I had to break it, just like you had to break your own, and my
broke
children
mine.
have to break it, and my grandchildren have to break their own. Each one of us has our own identity to break our own generational
Yes.
curses of things that are negative, the positive seeds, the roots we have to uproot them sometimes. And one of the things Regina Robinson has always told me, especially this last year, she said, Robin, you've got to get in a place, in a position of peace, like you, saying, go to that wilderness where you have that time with God alone. She said, Robin, you got to be able to be happy in your highs. You got to be able to be happy at your lows. Get your peace wherever you are. How do you get your peace? You go to that wilderness state, if you
Yes.
must, where God can speak to you himself. He will give you, Dr. Eric spoke about the signs. Pay
Yes.
attention to God speaking through people. This message could be so impactful to you. Something Elder Lois has said about her story of rejection, her story of negativity, of what she felt she allowed to come into her, because her parents or people didn't mean to be,
No,
negative.
absolutely.
They love her. My grandmother is like the loving woman. She
Yes.
loves everybody.
She's my
But the thing
spiritual
is, it's something that we
person.
allow to take root to spring forth a negative seed
Yes.
in us, and we ended up carrying it on.
And see, the biggest thing to me, some people don't agree, but I believe it's up to us to let go, because our parents, our grandparents, had no intentions of doing hurtful things or rejecting us.
That's right.
They did the only thing that they knew. And when you're raised a certain way, that's all you know. And you can't have unforgiveness or bitterness towards them. It's your choice if you want to wait till you're 40. And I
Yes.
was probably 40 when I started getting really set free from
Yes.
a lot of my childhood.
Yes.
But it's up to us to do it. We can't expect
Why do we
them.
wait? Because I'll give an
Because
example.
we can't let go.
We can't let go. And
can't let go.
I'll be real and transparent here. It took years for me to get free. Years ago, my mother I remember when I was a kid, you come in my bedroom, because I was one of them ones that I would let it fester in, and I built up a wall. And you came in my room, and I remember you sitting at the foot of my bed, bawling your eyes out. And because it makes me emotional to think about, because you would just cry and say, Robin, I love you. You told me that you loved me, because I didn't grow up. I was one of the ones that didn't really grow up that much. I get told now that you love me, but I felt that at that time too.
Yes.
And so I remember you sitting, and I built a wall up. And I didn't want to let you in, but I was saying, I'm okay. It's okay. You're fine. I was like, just go on, because I'm a kid, I'm young. But I remember I was holding on to things that happened years ago that I was festering, and I was letting it build up. But you taught me what goes down must come out. And I remember us sitting at Starbucks one day on Haywood Road, and we got it all out. And this is a good mama right here, because what she did, she said, we're going to make this work. We're going to talk this out. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get to the root of the issue. And she allowed me to talk about my issues of wow. And I didn't even realize what it was until we actually had that conversation, because she gave me that opportunity. Now, there are people out here that are watching this, and they don't have people that can get, maybe their mother's passed on, and they don't have anybody that they can actually go to and just vent or share, or feel like they feel rejection, they feel alone. And how can they themselves get to the root of their issues so they can transfer that negative seed and make it positive to focus forward? Can you talk to the viewers and
Yes.
tell them?
I can say with me, I don't feel I had someone, but I can say I had God. He was the one that I would turn to. And I would cry and I would cry and I would get before the Lord and I'd ask, God, help me. Because see what happened, I kept feeding that spirit that was negative. And I realized that's wrong. But it was so hard, as you said, to let go. Because you know what? We need somebody to blame.
That's right.
We need somebody to blame for being miserable. And I
Yeah.
could not let go of wanting to blame this person or that person from my past, or this person that was that way.
Yeah.
But I had to come to the place to take the ownership. But I don't recommend that you have to do it all from God. I see nowadays there's people out there that's like me, that's willing to help people.
Yes.
But I didn't feel like I had anyone. And it had to be me and God. But you know what? Healing, miracles are instantly. But healing takes a while. People got to get it in their head. I break my arm, I am not healed instantly. Healing takes a while. You pamper it and you love it and you nourish it till it gets well. God spoke to me one time and he said, you're in a semi-coma. And I thought, what? And I felt like that's when he started pulling me away from people that I was wanting the attention from. And over the last years, I started looking up what does semi-coma, and you probably know what it means. The doctors will put you in a semi-coma to let your insides start healing.
Wow.
It's very dangerous to do, but if your heart needs, so you're not under stress and trying to get awake and fight everything, they can induce a small semi-coma to put you in to help heal you from the
Wow.
inside. People
Wow.
don't realize that, but it could heal the kidney, can heal on the heart, the bladder, different things it can do.
Wow.
But look at what a semi-coma, it's not a normal thing they would do. I didn't know that,
Okay.
but God
Yeah.
spoke and said, I'm going to put you in a semi-coma. And it blew me
Wow.
away. But you see, he loved me enough because nobody was around that could help me.
Yeah.
All I had was him.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I felt years ago when I went to Redemption, relentless now, but it was Redemption. God was
Pastor
saying,
Ron Carpenter.
God started, I said, I feel like I'm coming out of a coma. The word God gave me 20 years ago.
Wow.
I just felt like I'm coming out of that.
Wow.
And the Lord was waking me up from that because he was doing a work.
Dry
he was doing a
bones come
healing
alive.
for me. And that's exactly what he can do for you. But you have got to be willing to get before Christ, away from all your friends, turn those phones off, turn the TV off, quit having friends over, get before the Lord if it takes days. I want to tell you right now, God's my everything. I don't like it when I can't have that time by myself with him. It is vitally important. That's where our lifeline is in Christ. We have got to, we can't just hear the word on Sunday and think it's going to keep us till next Sunday. I have got to get before the Lord. He gives me words when I get before him. He sets me free. As
Yes.
I'm walking my everyday life, I'm being set free
Wow.
and not know it till I realize, oh my goodness, I'm free from something that I thought was still hanging on to
Wow.
me from back here, and it's gone.
Wow, that is powerful, guys. Listen, let me share with you. If you are watching this show and you believe that you are going through a situation where you're in your pit state, where you're feeling like you're depressed, you're feeling like all hope is gone, and you have nobody in your life, you know what? You have Jesus. You know, I told you that this show is going to be a different kind of show, and to be ready, it's going to make impact. And I believe with the guests today that I've had on this show, it's made huge impact. Elder, yes, go ahead.
I want
Okay.
to say this one more thing. I don't want to hold up the time, but I felt the Lord wanted me to give this word, without a doubt. In Jeremiah 6:16, he says, "Go back to the ancient path where the ways are good." And do you know what the people said to him?
What?
No, I will not. No, I will not. The ancient path is finding your way back to where God says we're to start. Years ago, the ancient path was the right way. Now we're getting a little sidetracked before we know it. We've gone down the wrong road. He says, come back to you, the ancient path where you will find the good, where he wants us to be.
Yeah.
And people don't know that. And in Jeremiah, he talked about, he said, my people are telling my people, oh, you're healed, you're healed, you're healed,
Yeah.
without dealing with
Dealing with the roots.
deep inside what's destroying us.
Yes.
We've got to be willing to get before the Lord and be set free and get healed of the rejections and stuff. It's there. It will come up. I can promise you. It will come up if it's when you're 40 or 50. Your insecurity that you have right now could stem from some kind of rejection in your past that you need to deal with.
Wow, this is so impactful. This has been an amazing show with Focus Forward Robin on the Pit to Purpose stories that we've been hearing today. It's just great because we've talked about the highs and we've talked about the lows and how we've come together with realizing the only way that we can come out of our pit mess is to lean to Jesus, is to trust him and believe in him that he can make a difference. And so we may have people on this show that are not even faith believers. You know what? And that's okay because each show that I do is a different thing. Each show, I have people that come on here that are entrepreneurs. I have people come on here that are community advocates. I have people come on here that just want to share their story. But I will always say, and I will never deny, who I believe in. I believe in Jesus Christ. He is the one who saved me. He's the one who's delivered me, and he's the one who's healed me. And I say that because I haven't always been as bold to be able to give that accolade credit to my Lord and Savior. So I'm so thankful that you came on the show. It's been so impactful. And we're going to come back in just a few moments, and we are going to have our other guests join us, and we're going to do some communication talk. Guys, we'll be right back. This is Robin Shockley with Focus Forward with Robin. Hi everybody, this is Robin Shockley with the Focus Forward Robin Show, and welcome back. We have had such an amazing show today, and it's so important to know what it means to understand about the power of the seed, about how we can take things and we can think it, we can believe it, we can achieve it, but we can also take things in negatively, right?
Yes.
So today's show has been all about impacting one generation to another by the positive seeds we sow today. And you know what? Like I said earlier, my show is not always about ministry. We have different things on, but today is all about a ministry day because we're wanting to make a huge impact in the spiritual realm with people that are watching. And so if you would like to be on my show, or if you'd like to connect with me, all you got to do is reach out to me. Or if you'd like to become a sponsor of the show, if you would like to maybe have your flyer through our commercials and you have something that you want to share or you want to connect with me, all you got to do is let me know. I do take Cash App. It's $ Robin Shockley, and I also take PayPal as well. So reach out to me. I'd love to have you to sow into me. So what we're going to talk about is sowing into other people. Let's talk about community outreach. What does it mean to sow into other people through outreach?
It's an investment.
Okay.
It's causing someone else's opportunity or someone's vision or someone's dream, someone to push them to the next level or next dimension.
Okay.
And when you sow into other people, even in the community, it makes a difference.
Yes.
They may want to build a shelter. They need help, you know, but it's not just going to benefit them.
That's
it's going to
right.
help someone else. It's going to help a community. It's going to help
Yes.
that we'll
Yes.
have less homeless people on the
Yes.
street.
Yes.
So you got to look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
You got to see it beyond the now
That's
and
right.
see it further than what
That's
it
right.
is.
That's right. Well, let me tell you about a community outreach event that's going on in Pickens, South Carolina. Okay, Dream Catchers Outreach. This is a ministry, and what they're doing is they're presenting the Pickens County Hope for the Homeless Bash, which will include jump rope houses, dunking booths, live music, along with a 50-50 raffle and a talent show where the winner will receive $100 presented by Dream Catchers, along with an interview with yours truly, Miss Robin Shockley. I'm giving a free interview for that, for the winner. And the judges are included, yours truly, Robin Shockley, with Tony Wright of CIA Media, and Dex Mitchell from 98.1. And the proceeds from this outreach event is going to go 90% to the Pickens Homeless Shelter.
Awesome.
So it's
Awesome.
so important. So
Yes.
I'm actually sowing my time. Actually, I gave up an opportunity of a big event, but I firmly believe when you are taking your time to sow into others, God will open up
Yes.
doors for you. I was asked to do an event on this particular day after I already committed to going to this talent show and being a judge of sowing my time. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get to do this event. However, because I honored my commitment to what I started out with first, God has opened up multiple doors of opportunity through that. But see, we don't see that sometimes because we want to take the high road of what's going to pay us all the time, So with that being said, if you have a community event and you're doing things in your community, whether you're in South Carolina, Georgia, Baltimore, Maryland, whatever it is, and you would like, and it's a free event for community outreach, let me know. I'll be glad to put your flyer on my show. That's something that's no charge because it is serving the public community. So also, Tell us, Elder Lois, when people are going through something and they're wanting to know that somebody cares. You talked about how you've done street ministry in the past and how you've done help with the homeless and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that. How do you think that impacts somebody?
Oh, it makes a big impact on them because, for one thing, it does do something within you. There's a humbling experience that you experience also that don't ever think you're above it. You know what I'm saying? But those people start feeling somebody cares. They sense that somebody cares. You know, and that's so important that they would be able to feel that, to know that you care, and you're causing a bond. Like, for instance, when you had Legacy Tree Outreach, Johnny and I went with you to not the streets, but the homeless.
Yes.
We carried a lot of hot meal down there to them. It had snowed.
Yes.
It was just beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. These people gathered, and my husband prayed with them, but they lived in a smaller tent that had done fallen down where snow covered it. You know, we take so much for granted, but these people were so excited that we brought some waters and some hot soup
So
to
hot
them.
soup to them and sandwiches. I remember
Yes,
that was
yes.
that was a big day for me. I'll never forget that. And we still do Legacy Tree Outreach, but with doing that, I partner with other organizations such as SPIN, which is Mata Crawford, a dear friend of mine, which is the church. Whenever the church is taking up donations at Relentless, you know, I contribute in that way. But, you know, it's so important because people do need to know that you care. And yes, there's some people that could get off, and, you know, we found this out. Some people can get off the streets, but they choose not to for whatever reason. They need our love. They need to know that there's compassion. And I will say here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, it is really, really bad. And L.A. Pink, one of my good friends, she was on my show several months ago, and she works with the Homeless 101, and she has actually a homeless place where she gives out clothing and things like that. It's really cool. And so there's so many people that are doing great things in their communities and such to help those that are the homeless. But also, there's other things that go on where people do free things to make an impact for outreach, whether you're a women's event that's going on, healing event. I have a friend that's got an event coming up, Nicole Henderson. It's called Real Women, Real Stories, Real Lives. And it's a free event. It's going to be taking place in Greenville, South Carolina. The flyers on our commercials. And she's got different people coming in. There's going to be a panel with the people. I'm on the panel list where people can ask us questions and such. But it's a free event, and there's people that are going to come that are going to be broken because it's called Survive, Live, and Thrive. Okay, so how to survive your circumstances. You were talking about circumstances earlier. How to keep living and to thrive in your purpose. And so there's people out here that are broken. And so when people put on these community outreach events, whether you're helping the homeless or whether you're involved in the community, serving the women, the battered shelters, the children's home, and things like that, it makes such a huge impact. And so, Dr. Eric, you said it earlier about it doesn't have to be a financial seed.
It doesn't.
No.
Just what they did with encourage and feeding people. If you give one, they fed them, but then now they can speak to them spiritual. And sometimes you got to meet people where they are. And if I know you care about me, if I know you have compassion, Christ had the compassion. And if we're going to say we're going to be like him, we got to take all the attributes. And the thing, if I know you care about me, or if I know, like, I'm on the board with my little brother, Rashad. I survived. And it's with people that have survived. We just did the 3-year gala a couple months ago, and it was people shared their stories, and it blessed so many audience because one of the hosts, Levita, was saying, who's an amazing coach, what did you survive? One lady survived, like strokes, heart attack, just so many things to people, and the audience was so in amazement. Somebody else survived cancer. His mother just came through cancer. So it was so many people. He survived, not only, but some people domestic abuse, sexual abuse. So many people survived. But if I know you care about me, if I know you have compassion, that's sowing seed because you're giving me a word of hope. You're giving me a word of encouragement. You're giving me a word I can make it despite you know,
Yeah.
how I came through whatever the situation and survive it, thrive it, and you still can live beyond. I remember my whole thing was going to be living beyond the initial diagnosis of cancer until they changed it.
Okay.
But the thing was, living beyond the initial diagnosis of whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
That's
can live
it.
beyond it.
Yes.
One,
Yes.
here I got the diagnosis.
Okay.
Now what do I do from here?
Oh, that's good.
You got a good support system, then you got to come
Yes.
to grips with it,
Yes.
and then you need people that'll help you, and then you've got to go beyond and do what you're to do.
That's exactly right. Oh, I love it. I
Yes.
love it. And it's all fulfilling that purpose and that call that you have that God has given you. And so we talked about sowing the time into others, and we've got to wrap up shortly. But tell me, what do you think about, because we talked about a little bit with your session, about the financial seed? Sowing, because Lois, I know you're a firm believer in sowing into other people, and you believe in, because a lot of people, when they go to churches and stuff, and the pastor might say something, or somebody could be sitting beside you in church, and I know I'm a witness, and I go by, and I'm in the process of writing a book about the sowing where you want to grow because of the personal experiences. I can't vouch for you, and I can't vouch for you, but I can vouch for what God's done for me. I've had $3 in my bank account before, and I've had somebody cash out me. That's why I made a joke and gave my cash out, because I had somebody cash out me and give me $25 just so I could have enough money to last me till payday that Friday. You know, I've been in those situations. I've had people that I've given food out of my cupboard where I, you know, to help the school kids at the middle school for an event, and turn around, somebody give me money, a stranger that actually was at my front doorstep, give me money, and then somebody else bless me with groceries on my doorstep. So I believe in the
Yes.
power of sowing
Yes.
time and love, but also that financial seed, because what you give out does come back to you. You do reap that harvest, and I believe right now I'm in the process of reaping my harvest no more. So Lois, tell us really quick, because we only got 2 minutes left. Tell us, what is your standard, or what is it that you believe as far as that financial seed?
Oh, I value that. I do believe in doing that. I have planted seeds for my children and for my grandchildren. And the Lord leads me where. I'm a faithful tither.
Yes.
But my offerings and my seed money, God just leads me where to place that. And I trust, and I'm seeing God moving, and I'm reaping that financially. But my important thing is, God knows the spiritualness. I want
Yeah.
my whole family
Yeah.
on fire for God, sold out for the Lord. And so I plant financial seeds there to reap that. Financially, I'm believing right now we're fixing to start building a home, waiting to get the rest of the money, but we're moving forward with this, believing God, we're going to have that home paid for.
Love it. I love
And that's hard for me to say, because, ooh, it's scary for me to think to say, but we're going to have that.
Amen.
We give a seed
Amen.
faith, and we're believing it, and I'm believing that. So
I love it.
God cares.
He does.
God
yes. And he
is
sends
no
people at the
respecter of-
right
yes.
right time. He sends people at the
Yes.
right time to come in.
Absolutely.
I mean, he came to me in the midnight hour before, and somebody messaged me in the midnight hour, and they donated money for me. Like, so there's so much.
But
I
he
can
gives
say.
seed to the sower.
He gives
Yes,
seed
he
As
to
long
the
as the
sower.
earth
Yes.
remains, there shall be
Yes.
seed, time, and harvest. We go to Genesis 8:22.
Yeah.
As long as the earth remains, it shall be seed, time, and harvest. But as Isaiah said, he gives seed to the
To the
sower. We
sower.
plant, we seed, we sow. It's
Yes.
going to come back.
Yes.
And then what I do, even on my tithing, even on my offering, I write where I need my
Yes.
seed to go. Like you
Yes.
said,
Yes.
I want my family
Yes.
saved. I want
Name
my
your
your
seed.
children.
Yes.
Name your seed. You have the power. He's given us the authority. So we plant, we seed, we water.
Yes.
If it's finance, one of the scriptures, he gives us the power to get the wealth.
Yes.
He gives it to us.
I
And he
love
wants
it.
to give it to us.
I love it.
And money answers all things. But
Absolutely.
like
Yes.
we seed, we sow, we plant, it's going to come back.
He
It's going to
wants-
produce the harvest.
Guys.
He made everything
Yes.
to reproduce itself.
Amen.
And it's the same thing with finances.
Awesome, awesome. This is so powerful. I've got to close the show, and I do not want to do it at all. It's been so impactful. But I will tell you guys, listen, if you have a Pit to Purpose story and you'd like to be a part of this show, the Focus Forward Robin Show, I'd love to connect with you. And listen, I'm all about helping impact one generation to another by
Yes.
positive seeds we sow today. So we, like I said, we're always looking for sponsorship. I do this show on my own. Okay, so I pay for this show out of my pocket, or either I have sponsors that help contribute. And if you would like to sew into this show and what we're doing, I would love to have you. And I would also love to have more people come on the show and share their pit to purpose stories, like Elder Lois Thompson from Greenville, South Carolina, and Dr. Eric Holmes from Baltimore, Maryland. Really quick, because we got to close out this show, tell us one more time how people can get in touch with you.
You can reach me, Eric Holmes, on all the social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can just reach out to me.
All right.
And me, you can find me on Lois Cross Thompson
All right.
on Facebook.
Wonderful. And this is Robin Shockley. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want to find me. I'm out. Just Google me. Robin Shockley with Focus Forward Robin. If you think a thing, you will believe a thing, and you will achieve it if you just take the steps. This is Robin Shockley with the show with Focus Forward Robin. Until next month, we'll see you later.